What's next for Bitcoin and how am I going to trade Bitcoin? What's up guys, welcome to a new video, and in this video I want to talk about Bitcoin. Now I don't trade Bitcoin actively. As you can see, I also don't use TradingView a lot. I only use it for investments for the long term, but there has been some interesting price action in Bitcoin that I wanted to discuss. So let's get started right away. First of all, as you know, a few videos back, I posted this distribution range in Bitcoin, and that's how I called the top on Bitcoin, and that's how I expect this move to the downside. Now we have seen a range forming over here, and what's interesting about yesterday's price action is it broke a lot of lows. So we got this low broken, this low broken, this low broken, these two lows broken. So you have 5 lows being broken. So there's a lot of liquidity being triggered below these lows. And then you get this very bullish hammer at this area. Now, a lot of people are talking about the spring in an accumulation range, which would be this range. To me, it isn't really clear yet, but this is basically the do or die area. If price isn't moving aggressively to the upside and breaking the range, making a base and then going up, this has to happen very quickly. If that's not the case, I expect a breakdown targeting at least this area and maybe even this area around 21k and even lower. I do I made a mistake over here. This should be the buying climax, of course. I do have a bit of a bearish bias on Bitcoin, and the reason is this high could have been the UTAD of a distribution. Now, why? Generally speaking, if a distribution range is long, which was over here, this was a very long distribution range, you generally get more down movement. So you basically got this down movement, which was still within the lower boundaries of the range, but then you only had this aggressive move to the downside. And usually after such big distribution range, you will see a form of redistribution, taking out the high like we have here, and then basically getting another leg to the downside. So that's a bit what I'm expecting. I am on the sidelines of this, but this does look very bullish. And I'm not saying this is the bottom. I want to see clear price action and a clean base forming. Generally speaking, the more often a level gets touched, the more it likely is to break and really break. As you can see, this area has been touched so many times. So if it doesn't go from here, you can really expect a daily bearish close through here. And if that happens, I'm very, very bearish. And I'm expecting more to the downside. But for now, it looks okay, I guess. You could have expected this to happen, this hammer, because of all the liquidity below here and because of all the leveraged trading in Bitcoin. So that's my view on Bitcoin right now. I'm staying on the sidelines. If anything bullish would happen, I might look for longs over here, targeting at least this area and then a new all-time high. I'm not trading it to the short side, so I would just invest over here. But I will usually do that in different cryptos that have similar patterns, but more potential in my opinion. So that's my view on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ripple, because I'm still holding some Ripple, which I bought at, let me show, this area over here. Bought Ripple. As you can see, it went up quite nicely. Didn't take any profits because I didn't see my exit criteria, but I'm still targeting a new all-time high with my investments. Now, as you can see, bullish price action, we hit the last bit of resistance before this massive breakout once. We got it twice, and now we are closing above. So it does look a bit bullish. However, I won't be surprised if price comes down and takes the liquidity below this area and then does something like this. Basically the same is happening over here, but below this area, because as you can see, we have some unbroken lows here quite a bit. So I do expect something like that to happen. Again, I'm not trading this. I'm just the way I approach crypto is basically I look for a few projects which I think have fundamental potential, and then I basically enter at areas which give me a good setup price action wise. So this would be here. That's why I entered the first time. This is a massive level, as you can see, multiple touches in this area, with the most recent touch being over here. So that's why I entered over there. That's basically how I invest in those assets. So basically a massive level and the most recent touch, or a liquidity grab and a quick rejection to the upside. So that's it for Ripple. Staying on the sidelines. If I get something like that over here, I might add a bit more to my position. But for now, on the sidelines. Now, I also want to talk a bit about Chainlink. I invested in Chainlink at this area because of the accumulation pattern, which I use in investing as well, just like in trading. As you can see, I'm almost, well, I am almost back at break even. Doesn't bother me at all. I'm still very bullish on this project fundamentally. I entered at a great technical spot, so I'm just holding my position. Now you can see a double bottom forming, and usually, like you guys all know, liquidity will be below. You can expect something like this. And if this happens, closing above such structure, then I would be looking for longs. But for now, I am on the sidelines because I get a lot of questions about this. Are you going to buy on this dip? No, I'm not. I have to see something specific in order to go long, and that's usually a pattern like this. In trading the FX market, it is completely mechanical. In crypto and in other assets such as metals or other commodities, I'm a bit more discretionary, but I still look at the same things to happen, and that's this. So liquidity grab below, you can call this the spring, and then a close above the structure that has formed within the range, but it has to be a significant structure. So not something like this, but pretty significant. Then a close above, base forming. And that's where the entry would be if I would add on my link position. Then you have one more I want to cover, which is ADA. I invested in it around after this spring, I believe around 125 or so. So basically also at break even right now. Reason I entered the simple 1, 2, 3 unbroken lows. Price breaks the lows, bullish candle. This to me is clear reaccumulation pattern. And also fundamentally, this project has very much potential in my opinion. So I always start first with the fundamental aspect. Then I look for a great entry, which would be after such liquidity grab or after a breakout and a retest of the most immediate level. For now, you can see a small liquidity grab, but nothing really that telling to me. What would interest me is a break above all or break below all these lows. So even below that one. And then again, move up above some kind of base that forms, and then I would look for longs. But we also have a quite an interesting area below market, which would be all the way back here, and then I would still be bullish because look at the touches. Number 1, number 2, and then this area 3 touches at the exact same level. And if you're going to zoom in, you can see this area hasn't been retouched yet. And breakouts usually retest. So this would be the optimal entry for me. But again, if something like this happens, I wouldn't enter precisely in this area. I would scale in. So one position would be at the break of structure over here. And one position would be waiting at this area to go long. And that's how I attack these markets. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot from this video and my view about it. Again, I don't actively trade it. I just invest in fundamentally good projects at good levels and at good price action. That's how I approach it, and I hold for the long term. So people say, why didn't you close your buy, or at least a part of your buy entry over here? Because I'm still bullish on this and I haven't seen my exit signal. My exit signal is a clear distribution pattern like the one I had seen in Bitcoin. I haven't seen it here. I haven't seen it in the other assets I'm holding. So I'm still in it because fundamentally nothing has changed about the project. Only price has gone down. So I just see it as a discount to potentially scale in some more buys. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot. In the next video, I'm going over some other investments I'm going to make for the long run again, using the Wyckoff method. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. I'm also working on a free ebook about the Wyckoff method. It will be available probably at the end of this month or at the beginning of July. Depends a bit on my time and my schedule. But it will be free for everyone. You can download it on my website, and I will tell you when it's finished. So I speak to you guys in the next video.